Well, hello again everyone, and welcome back to another 1/64 scale video. Originally, I was thinking about taking a look at a die-cast piece in my collection, but then I decided that I wanted to show off my custom car shop that I built. So I'm going to go ahead and give you all a little backstory behind this and show you how I pretty much made what you see at the moment. So I have my custom car shop on my 4-foot by 6-foot display table along with some other locations, and I built this back during the winter of 2016 for an upcoming farm toy show I was going to be attending, although there was quite a few things that were never really finished with this. One of the first ones is this field over here next to the salvage yard. This was originally supposed to be where my tractor repair shop was going to go. However, there just wasn't enough room, so that ended up going right here instead. And this was just made into a field because I didn't know what to put here at the time. However, lately I've been thinking about trying to accommodate an old-fashioned fire station in that area. I think there will be enough room to do that with what I'm looking into. But another thing was this other lot over here across from the salvage yard. And originally this was just a vacant lot, but I decided to turn it into pretty much just a place to park tow trucks and also a little overflow area for cars for the salvage yard. But even the custom car shop itself remains unfinished, at least in terms of the interior. There's quite a few things I'd like to do with that still, but I'll get to that here in a bit. Now, part of why I wanted a custom car shop on my display is because I've got quite a few cars in my collection from the 1960s, 1970s. Pretty much if it's a muscle car or an antique car, you may see it here. But I wanted a place to display all these aside from in the display cabinets. And considering I was building a new table, I thought it was the perfect opportunity to accommodate a custom car shop. Now, if you're all familiar with the show Counting Cars, which stars Danny Coker of Counts Customs, you may notice I took a little bit of inspiration from that when designing this shop. Most obvious probably is a sign out front that says Danny's Custom Cars, Trucks, and Bikes. Yet to get some bikes for this setup. But you can see I've got the spider webs on the sign. And some of you may be wondering why I didn't just put Counts Customs on there. Personally, I just don't feel it would be appropriate considering this is just a small shop. Possibly even a branch shop of Counts Customs. Out front of the shop, I've got a car lot where the cars are put out to be sold. And I've got quite a few things here, like there's a Plymouth Cuda, got a Dodge Charger, actually got a couple Chargers here. There's a couple C10s, more Chargers, Ford Mustang, I believe that's the Mach 1, and also the Pontiac GTO, and yet another Charger. But the cars that are sitting here, these usually change from time to time depending on what I want to put out here. I've got quite a few more cars in the display cabinets. Over here I've got this Firebird doing a burnout, and I've just used a little bit of cotton wool there for the smoke effect. But going over here to the side of the shop, I've got the parking area basically for workers of the shop or possibly customers coming in. You can see I've got some modern cars there and some older ones. And this area back behind here, this is just for overflow cars, if there's too many to fit on the lot or maybe additional parking. Getting into the shop, you can see a lot of the detail that I've added to this. And one thing I should mention is that this building is made of a material called hardboard. What I did is I pretty much just designed what I wanted on the computer and printed out the dimensions and such, then transferred all that over to the hardboard, cut the pieces out, and then assembled them to make the building, and then went ahead and painted it, and this was the final result. But you can see that I've added signs and banners across the wall. There's things for like Firestone, Wix filters, Interstate batteries, Lucas Oil, Bridgestone. Actually, I think that's off camera so you can't see it. But I like making these because they just add more life to the building, and you know, this is what you'd pretty much see in a car shop and what have you. But I've also added in my resin workbenches and toolboxes and such. I've also got a tire rack right here along with some other tire tools and machines, you know, that you'd find in a car shop basically. But I've also got a lift on the floor right here. This is another resin piece that I painted. And I've got this 1970 Chevelle SS parked on it. I like this car because it's in what almost looks like a primer gray. So it almost looks like it's in the middle of a restoration or a repaint. I just think that's really cool for this shop, especially if you can find some cars that have like mixed matched parts. I know I've got a couple in my collection, but I don't have them within reach at the moment. But yeah, I mean, this Chevelle here is really nice to have in this shop just because that gray look it has. I've also got this 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner right here, and it's another favorite I have, part of why it's in here. But you know, again, you know, I've got all these resin pieces. Just right here is a floor jack. You can see I've got that there, and I do have some figures in here. I don't really have adequate figures for this kind of shop environment. A lot of the figures I have are either farmers or construction, or I've recently acquired some towing guys, but not really any auto shop guys. Moving over to the other side of the shop here, I've got some toolboxes and some shelving, and I've also got this picture of a 1970 Plymouth Roadrunner, and that's because I quite like the 1970 Roadrunner. It's one of my favorite cars. Some of you guys have probably already noticed the ladies I've got hanging around here, again, trying to mimic the look of a shop environment, and at least some of the shops I've been in, that's what you see. But you'll also notice that I've got this, I believe it's a 1956 Ford pickup truck here. This is actually a custom build I did. It started out as a Hot Wheels truck with the Hot Wheels graphics on it. I carefully removed those because I just wanted the metallic blue paint and nothing else. But I took time there, I did some of my own custom painting on it, like the trim and the running boards. Repainted the interior red, new wheels, and also did all the stainless steel bits you see on the truck. And I think it turned out really nice. Definitely one of my favorites, and I really do like that metallic blue on it. Now this is the showroom / office area, and I've got quite a bit of work that I still want to do to this. But in this corner you can see that this is the office area. It's just this counter and row of lockers right here. I'm thinking about probably redoing the counter, make it look a little nicer. Just doesn't suit what I want at this time. But I'd like to add some computers to it. I do have a small laptop on it right now, but it's far from perfect. This row of lockers here, I'm thinking about maybe some boxes on top or something, just make it look a little more interesting, I guess. And possibly even add a sign or a banner above in this area here. Maybe some office chairs would be a good idea for this area as well. But going into the showroom, you can see I've got a couple, I've got a car and a truck here, and I've got pictures and banners on the wall. There's a picture of a Chevy flatbed right there. Also got a 1969 Dodge Charger here. That'd be the General Lee. And then there's another Chevy truck right there. And then I've got a TV here, which I still need to put something on the screen. And the seating for this area, these are actually car seats. The resin car seats that I painted and such. Probably could have pulled them out of a car, but nah. And then I've just got this seat back here just randomly sitting in the corner. Who knows, maybe that's the timeout seat. So this is the other side of the showroom, and hopefully something's popping out to you right now. That being this truck right here, because this is my own custom replica of Danny's 1947 Chevy COE flatbed. And I pretty much built this truck entirely from scratch, and I made it solely for this custom car shop. I had to find something that had a similar cab. They do not make these in 1/64 scale, so I found something with the closest cab I could get, modified it from there. I had to build this flatbed all from scratch and then modify a frame, and a lot of time making pieces, parts, and painting for this truck. And this is one of the crown jewels in my collection. But Also, and I've held off mentioning it until now, you'll notice that in this car shop, I've also got these banners for counting cars. And again, you know, this is pretty much sort of a tribute to what inspired me to make this custom car shop, being, you know, Danny Coker of Counting Cars. You can also see on the wall here, I do have a picture of the real truck just right there. And, you know, I think it looks really cool, especially when you got the truck in the showroom here. Now, this truck does not always sit here. Sometimes I have it over on the other side of the shop outside. But when I designed this building, I designed it specifically to be able to hold this truck if I wanted to park it in the showroom. You can also see on the walls here, I do have, there's a Mountain Dew logo right there, and I do have a vintage cola machine right here. And that's another something, you know, vintage cola machine, vintage cars. You know, I just feel like it's a perfect combination there. Go back to when I featured my my Joe's Farmall dealership with the vintage Farmall tractors, and I had a vintage Pepsi Cola machine in there. You know, sort of the same thing with this custom car shop. Also got some other things, like here's a tire rack, although it's not been painted yet, but it's there as well. And I mean, just overall, I really have a lot more that I'd like to do with this showroom, but just taking the time to do it and getting the materials. And I know some of you probably want a better look at the COE, so I've gone ahead and pulled it out of the showroom. And some point here in the future, I will be doing a dedicated video where I go in depth on how I built this. So keep a watch out for that. And that there, folks, is my custom 1/64 scale custom car shop. Like I mentioned before, it's still a work in progress, still quite a few things I like to do with it. Want to go ahead and finish the showroom, a little more detail in the shop, and then hopefully get some garage doors fitted. But I mean, overall, I've been happy with it since I started on it. I've had this for the last, 5-6 years now. And it's one of the favorite locations on my setups. But I do remember years back there when I took this to the Farm Toy Show back in April, I was a little disappointed it never won any awards, but I think part of my problem was there just wasn't enough farm with this. Other than this field right here, and then my tractor shop, and that field right there, maybe some of that over there at the storage sheds, really wasn't much farm going on, and I think that's part of what hurt me in the judging. But anyways, like I said before, that's going to wrap up looking at my custom car shop. Feel free to let me know your thoughts on this in the comments down below. Also, feel free to check out my other pages, links in the description. And if you want to see more videos like this, feel free to let me know as well. So that's going to be it for now. I'll catch you guys later.